Hi, we'll talk paper writing sprints and micro tasks today, overcoming writer's block in academia and practical mindset shifts for scientists. So, are you ready? Do you currently find yourself struggling to make consistent progress on your writing? Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck on your manuscript or grant proposal, unsure where to start, or exhausted by the endless revisions. You're not alone. Many scientists like you, deeply committed to meaningful research, face moments of writer's block and productivity sort of burnout. So imagine if you could break through those barriers with a small focused burst of writing that multiply your output and fuel your motivation. Imagine learning how to chip away at large projects with micro tasks and writing sprints, enabling you to write more efficiently even when time feels very limited. Hi, I'm Katja from Spark Knowledge Community, and before founding this nonprofit and joining the faculty, I spent over a decade on the Research Institute, leading different research projects, also leading a research lab, and in the end, the whole department. And over the years, I've faced the same struggles with writing productivity, and I've learned powerful techniques for overcoming them, techniques that I now coach to other scientists to master. So today, I want to share this with you. First, let's acknowledge the challenge. Academic writing is demanding. You're balancing experiments with teachings, probably, and meetings and grant applications, and often the writing of papers comes actually last. When motivation dips and deadlines looms, writer's block can stop you cold, right? So many scientists blame themselves, thinking they aren't disciplined enough or productive enough, or that their writing skills are sort of lacking. But productivity isn't just about a willpower. Actually, it's not about the willpower at all, I think. It's more about what your subconscious actually believes you're like. So I've heard many times, I'm just not a writer. I'm the measurements guy. And it's about strategy and mindset and structuring your time effectively. And sorry to break it to you, but just measuring won't do science. So explaining what you did, how you did it in a reproducible way, and also why does this whole thing matter is equally important as being capable of measuring something. So one of the most effective strategies is the use of writing sprints and micro tasks. These methods break writing into manageable focus bursts that build momentum without overwhelming you. One that I use and have managed to convince others, some other scientists as well, to use is a Pomodoro technique. Let me explain. Writing sprints are short, limited sessions dedicated solely to writing. So you have these common lengths like 10 or 15 or 25 or even 30 minutes, but you can adapt this to what fits your schedule and concentration. The key here is write as much as possible during the sprint without editing or overthinking. You set a timer, eliminate all the distractions, and dive deep in. So do not stop to rerun sentences, don't check emails or search for references. Just write nonstop to keep your creative flow. And when the timer ends, you pause and rest briefly, stand, stretch, grab a glass of water, whatever. And after a short break, you can begin another round or another sprint. So even a single 10-minute sprint a day can build a writing habit and reduce your procrastination. So why do writing sprints work really? They lower the pressure to produce perfect drafts. And when you know the sprint will end soon, you're free to write fast and break things. And this freedom somehow reduces fear and gets you actually past the blank page, and sprints boost your focus. With a clear end point, your brain hones in and blocks all the distractions. So you also train your writing stamina, increasing speed and quality over the time. And there are studies actually and anecdotal evidence from pro writers that show that sprints can increase words written by 2 to 3 times compared to unstructured writing time. So for busy scientists, this is, I think, a game changer. Now think of micro tasks as bite-sized pieces of your larger writing project. And rather than vague goals like work on my paper, micro tasks are very specific, actionable objectives. Like, for example, outline your method section, or draft 200 words on the introduction, or review 3 articles for the literature review, or edit 1 figure legend, or format references for 1 section. And breaking down your work this way helps you know exactly what to do next. It eliminates the paralysis that comes from a big daunting to write list. And before each writing sprint, you spend a few minutes clarifying your next micro task. So you actually write down the task on a sticky note or digitally, like in a notepad. Just keep it simple, and then start your sprint focused on just on that task. This precision dramatically shortens the time wasted on deciding what to write or getting distracted. So, how do you begin incorporating writing sprints and micro tasks into your routine? Here you have some practical steps that worked for me, and you can just start today. So first off, schedule your sprint sessions. Find small regular time windows, whether it's 10 minutes before lunch or during a coffee break or an hour in the morning, and then put these sessions in your calendar with it's a priority. It's the same priority as meetings. And then create a distraction-free writing zone. Close unnecessary apps and browser tabs and just shut down the phone and everything else. And put your phone on do not disturb, or better yet, leave it in another room. Choose music or silence depending on what helps you focus, and then plan your micro tasks ahead. Spend 5 minutes before each sprint listing clear small writing goals. This can be finishing a paragraph or outlining a subsection or summarizing findings. So set your timer then, use your phone app or online timer or something like that, and start writing immediately. Don't pause to edit. The goal is volume, not perfection. Take short breaks after each sprint, walk around, stretch, or do a few deep breaths, and then refresh before the next burst. Track your progress. Keep a simple log with dates, word counts, or completed tasks. This is very, very crucial. And then notice growth builds motivation and accountability. This is so very crucial. So now I want to share a few mindset shifts that will make this approach even more effective. Embrace imperfection. The first draft is for getting ideas down. Revisions come later on. Then celebrate progress, not perfection. Every sentence written beats a blank page, for sure. Understand that writing is actually a process, so setbacks and slow days are a very, very normal thing. Know that consistent small steps compound into a big achievement over time, so think about the times you felt stuck. Had you broken your work into smaller parts? Had you timed your efforts? Could you have freed yourself from trying to get it perfectly the next time? So these simple habits rebuild your confidence and make writing manageable again. You don't need massive chunks of time or bursts of inspiration. You only need structure and clarity and kindness towards yourself in the process. So if you're wondering whether this really works, consider joining writing groups or communities that use sprints together. They provide motivation and friendly competition, and for sure probably the most important thing, accountability. I often host group sprints within the Spark Knowledge community where members report breakthrough in focus and regular progress, which is so awesome. Before I close, I want to remind you, writing is a skill that improves with practice and strategy. So you're capable, knowledgeable, and for sure valuable scientist. So don't let writer's block or whatever overwhelm rob you of your scientific impact. If this approach resonates with you, I invite you to join the Spark Knowledge community. Together we work on mindset shifts, on grant writing strategies as well, not just the paper writing, and also building sustainable, productive careers, even in a tough academic landscapes that are currently here. So check the links below for a free masterclass on research project writing perks that dives deeper into proposal writing and funding success. And I also encourage you to regularly assess where you are in your academic career. So pick up a small booklet linked in the description below of this video, assessment right away, which would be very, very good probably. So thank you for spending these moments with me, and remember, progress, no matter how small, moves you forward. Write in sprints, attack your work with clarity and kindness. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next one. Engage.